Alright, so what's up, guys? Boris here, and today we'll be talking about how long will Zoe be. Now, Zoe is a current arc, and a lot of people have been predicting that it's going to be a short arc. Based on what's been happening now, it could also potentially be a long arc. So, that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So, Mac, just start it off, man. What do you think? What would you think? You're going to say short arc, or is it going to be a long arc? What do you think?
Boris, I'm gonna tell you right now, yo, I was up and down with this. At first, I thought it was gonna be a longer arc than we expected, but like in the recent events, now I'm thinking it's gonna be a shorter arc. I'm not too sure. Like, I feel like it might be compared to Jaya, how Jaya was like to Skypiea, yo. Like, it might be an arc that's it's pretty short. Like, Jaya was how many chapters was Jaya? Was it around 10 to 15? I'm not too sure, but it was not as long as I
Yes,
remember.
it's one of the shorter arcs for sure.
Yeah, so I can see it like that. It's like the island of Zunisha. We're getting a lot of information early on. The pacing for Zoe is really like
The
I'm really
pacing,
surprised the
yes,
pacing
that's
there.
true. That's true. It has been really fast.
Yes, like we're getting a lot of information. Like I could see like them needing to leave Zoe quickly because we got the whole information about Jack and his situation. Everyone thought Jack was gonna be the final villain, but Jack is said to be he
Yeah,
took
I
an
mean
L.
Jack's already out for
Yeah,
the count
yeah.
apparently.
So
So
like it's for Jack, it's still like it's not really he's out for the count. Like he's
he
just
can
like
always like wash up on shore or something and
yeah.
chill, but I don't
And
know.
then Weevil, like the situation with Weevil, a lot of people said the Weevil, how it related to the elf in his name, Zunisha. So I'm right now. I'm thinking I'm leaning more towards short arc. Before when the arc, like the first couple chapters of this arc, I was thinking it would be a 40 chapter arc. In my opinion, like I thought it was gonna be a long arc because of the whole voice entry and all the information that we needed. But now it's looking kind of different with the whole Sanji situation. What's your
Yeah,
thoughts?
yeah. I think I might be the opposite. Where at the beginning I thought it was gonna be a short arc
Hmm.
because I was just like Dressrosa was such a long arc. Oda has to do a shorter one just so sort of like a palate cleanser kind of thing,
Hmm.
where you just get in there for a little bit,
A
learn
refresher.
yeah learn some stuff, and then move on to Wano Kuni. That's what I thought.
Yes.
But the more and more info that we get about this, it's like all of a sudden, wow! Like I feel like there's so much potential for this island. I feel like there's so much stuff that could randomly just happen. And I mean, and
Hmm.
I think it all started with the fact that we learned that it's an elephant and that it was
Yeah.
a thousand. No, is it 1,000 years old, right?
Yeah, 1,000 years old.
And so, like right off the bat, okay, all of a sudden we have to learn something about the Void Century here. If we don't learn anything about the Void Century, this is like a huge mistake by Oda. I mean, there's no reason that we're not going to learn something about the Void Century here. So, okay,
I,
so at one point are we going to do that, right? And so all this like stuff starts happening. Like we get in there, and there's like we see the Minkmen, so we finally get to meet the Minkmen, and they have this new sort of technology known as like shock, or I'm not exactly sure, electro, something like that.
mhm.
And so we got to learn about that. We got to learn about what's been going on. It's just there's so much that I feel like that could happen, especially maybe this learn more about this ancient city. Um, that I can start to possibly see it being a long arc. I'm still gonna say it's a short arc. I'm still gonna say it's a
Mhm.
short arc, but I definitely have opened up to the possibility of it being a longer arc. Yeah, maybe around the
As
40 chapters, like you were saying, somewhere around there.
exactly, yeah, I agree with what you're saying right there. And I think what we're talking about is like Chopper. And now that we recently in the latest chapter, we got a name for the elephant Zoe, Zunisha. So it's I think Oda's leaning towards Zunisha is about to spit some information about what she or he has seen in the past to Chopper. And that'll be kind of interesting. I'm not too sure that's gonna happen, but Zoe, like you said, yeah, Zoe has a lot of information to be dealt with. The whole situation that recent shit, the whole recent situation made me think that they would leave the island quicker than we had thought, but I'm up and like I said, yeah, I'm up and down with this. I'm gonna lean towards short right now, but it could go long, and I would be okay with it going long.
And yeah, you bring up a good point, right? Chopper might be able to talk to the elephant. I'm not sure if the elephant's like it's so weird, right? You would assume that the elephant's alive, but I'm not even sure if it's alive at this point.
It's
And how can it be alive for so long? And can it even talk? Like I guess I'm not really sure. It could either be Chopper or it could be maybe the voice of all things. Luffy might be able to just hear what it says through that, since we've seen him, be able to understand the sea. What do they call it? The Sea
Sea
Kings.
Kings, yes.
Yeah, so we've seen that he's able to understand them. Maybe he can understand the elephant. And worst of all things, something that I've really been wondering about. Hopefully we'll get to learn something about that at some point. But
Yes. When Rayleigh talked about it, it gave me chills. Yo, Goldie Roger he was a pirate, but he could just hear everything. Yo, it's really interesting.
yeah, so I mean that's Zoe. If it was to go and be a longer arc, then there
Mhm.
would obviously have to be some sort of villain. And
Yes.
that's what's keeping me from saying that it's going to be a long arc. It's just I don't see a villain yet.
Mhm.
but who knows exactly like what more there is to explore of Zoe. There might
Mhm.
be some unexplored areas that we might go. I mean, we still don't know where Brook is, where Caesar is, where Momonosuke, where he is. So, did they go with? I mean, technically, we still don't even know if Sanji technically got captured or not. We can assume he probably did, but
Mhm.
I just remember that when we first were on Zoe, we saw Chopper. Something happened with Chopper where he's like, "Oh, look down here," and then everyone was like surprised.
There was a man with a
And
belt buckle with Kaido's signing on it.
yeah, so Kaido was there. We saw maybe see Big Mom and what happened with Capone,
Yes.
and we still haven't seen the deer mink. I think it was a deer mink, or maybe it was the mink girl that we saw. Remember?
Yes. I
That's
remember.
that's what I'm still waiting for, and we still have to talk about Raizo. Is it
Oh,
Raizo?
Rise of the Ninja. Yes.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of stuff to cover. Void Century, Raizo, the girl Mink, what happened with like Big Man Capone, and what happened with Kaido.
We might get an extentful flashback, yo. That might go on for 3 or 4 chapters, yo.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, exactly. We might get a flashback, or we might get a Void Century flashback as well.
Okay, the
Um,
question I have for you is this: How,
yeah.
if you had to take a number right now, how many chapters, just right now, how many chapters will Obi?
I'm. Let's see. I'm gonna go with 25.
25.
That's like
Okay.
right in the middle of what I think is. I think it's short and long. I'll say right in the
I,
middle is
I
25.
like that. I like that. I like that.
So maybe like we'll probably spend like another 3 to 4 chapters. I'd say like maybe learning about what the situation is,
Hmm.
right? Because we're probably like next chapter we might see what has happened with Sanji. Then chapter after that we might have to see what happened with Brooke,
Hmm.
and then Caesar, and then maybe after that we'll see Big Mom, or possibly even Kaido, and then after that we'll learn about Raizo, maybe the Deer Mink, the Void Century. I mean, I could definitely see that taking around 25 chapters.
Yes. It's the thing if you said, yo, if once we see a clear-cut villain, that's when I'll see like I'll
Exactly.
be like,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what keeping me from saying it's going to be a long arc. I could definitely see it being a long arc, but
Yes.
there's no villain really. So I don't think Weevil's going to show up on Zoe. I don't think Jack is going to show up on Zoe unless he somehow washes up on or like somewhere near Zoe. But
Hmm.
I don't know.
Interesting. It's really interesting to think about like this, discuss this about how it can go either way. Like that's like I said, yo, either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, but for the most part, I think everyone. I think it's safe to assume that it'll probably be on the shorter side. So,
I agree.
any last thoughts before we end?
All I'll say is this: if we if we see Weevil and Jack out of nowhere cop on this island, I'm going crazy.
I think everyone will go crazy, man. I
Really
think
good.
everyone. So yeah, we'll end it there, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, peace.